All right, this is part two of what martial art would be good for you. Um, I was gonna do a part two, but I got a phone call, so had to answer it. So I just kind of like cut it short. So instead of having a one long video, I'm gonna have this part two video. So where I left off was if the martial art is effective. So when I say the martial art is effective, I meant with the level of the art of fighting to become a better fighter. Not necessarily for self-defense, just for one of the reasons why we feel we do martial arts for is this level of effectiveness. So I talked about that in the last video. So the next bullet point that I want to hit would be now I become a bit more specific with the martial arts, and that's gonna be the body type. So when it comes to a body type, so that's the next reason, number 4. When I talk about the body type, I mean what do you feel you can do or you want to invest in. So if you're like a bigger person, and you want to use that to your advantage, the power of that you have, and apply it to the martial arts. Let's just say you have more weight on you, more muscle on you. You might be a bit slower, so you know that power is going to be one of the options that you want to use. Then you'd pick a martial art that deals with more power. I mean, a lot of martial arts have a version of themselves that are a bit more powerful. I mean, karate itself, it has a lot of solid movements. Judo, jiu-jitsu, you use your own body weight. I've seen people do aikido where you don't really need to be at your most peak fit level in order to execute some of the movements. I mean, you can be a heavyweight boxer. You can wrestle with the weight that you have. Obviously, there's a sumo culture. I mean, I'm not saying go to Japan and try to become a sumo wrestler, but I figure you could pick up some movements along the way. Read some books by authors when it deals with sumo. Kind of get to know a history of that style. See if the movements are right for you. The thing is that when it comes to body type, a lot of martial arts can actually mold to you. I reference, for example, Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee developed a fighting style with his most efficiency. Obviously, if you're a leaner individual, faster, the movements you're going to choose are going to cater to your speed and how to bring out the most strength from that speed, your most effective movements. But let's say you're a bigger guy, slower, your Jeet Kune Do is going to be using a completely different set of movements, where you probably won't be executing like a quick kick to the stomach, but you might execute a quick kick to the shin, behind the knee, to the knee. You might throw a quick jab to the face. You might do a pull technique or a grab on your opponent and drop them down using your own weight. So, referencing, for example, Jeet Kune Do, you find out what's more effective for you. Now apply this to any martial art. So when it comes to body type, I don't discriminate on which martial art you want to use. I mean, I myself would not mind trying out sumo, just to get an idea of how they generate their power. What is speed for them? How do they move around to make sure their movements are very effective? But I'll get more into that later. So going into another reason of body type, yeah, if you have longer legs, you might choose a martial art that involves more kicks. If you have longer arms, you might choose one that has a lot more punching power. Um, if you like using your whole body in a fight, again, judo, jiu-jitsu, um, you know, any type of wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling. Um, I could name out a lot of martial arts. If your idea is for full power and speed, and just the type of ruthlessness, there's Muay Thai, Li Wei, um, Muay Baron. You know, throwing some headbutts into that martial art. You know, so I mean, I've seen a martial art like believe it's Sistema, where it teaches you to fight multiple opponents with a certain stance. I've seen Krav Maga, where they really focus on protecting your vital points when you're fighting. So, again, sorry, this video can go on long enough because there's a lot of reasons, a lot of different reasons why you might choose a martial art. So I'm gonna give out some advice before I talk about a martial arts style that I have in mind. Okay, so some advice. If you're a first-time martial artist and you're not sure yet about joining a martial arts school, what I would do is I would research each martial art at its most beginner level. I would look at books, go online, go on YouTube, go on Safari, and just get like a beginning view of each martial art, but at a kid level. If what I tend to do, I go on YouTube and I look up, for example, Muay Thai for beginners, boxing for beginners, karate for kids, taekwondo for children. I do that because I want to get the most basic version of that martial art to develop a solid base before trying to learn all the fancy movements. Even though I already have many years in the martial arts and I could probably do the movements that a more intermediate or advanced person does in their martial arts, I want to learn from the base, and from there, you know, move on as fast as I need to, depending on how quick I pick it up. Just like how the advice I give when learning a different language. Why learn a different language from its most difficultness when you can learn from the alphabet? I mean, when I was a kid, I learned martial arts through the alphabet. I learned through the ABCs. So, you know, it same thing applies to the martial arts. Learn it from the ABCs. Learn it from the stances. Learn it from the first punches, the first blocks, the first kick you're gonna get. And I'm just saying that, do that as a type of research. Actually, if you're gonna do a workout, pick one of these videos. Yesterday I looked up a Muay Thai video at its most basic level on the elbows, and I was practicing that through most of my night, just trying to get an idea of how they do their elbows. I wasn't trying to go into advanced Muay Thai where I probably wouldn't understand a lot of their movements, but at least I got an idea of how to use the elbows, and now I have something to use if I want to practice with somebody to see if it's actually effective. So now I don't recommend one single martial art. I recommend, because I'd be a hypocrite if I'd said that. Being in the martial arts and having the years that I've had in the martial arts, I've encountered many acquaintances and many people that I consider friends now that I've sparred with from different styles. And when I spar with them, I didn't just spar with them to prove how good my style is. I sparred with them to understand the movements they were trying to execute to me. I try to understand what techniques they were using, and as well as what was effective for them that I didn't see coming, that I can use in the future. I know, for example, when I sparred against somebody in Taekwondo, they swept my front leg and I lost balance, and then they shot a roundhouse to my chest, and I was like, wow, that was very cool. I sparred against somebody in Wing Chun who had a bigger reach than I did, and they were basically landing all their hits. I sparred against somebody practicing Muay Thai, and the Muay Thai practitioner had these movements that were direct, but not really direct. A lot of the movements, they look like they're coming straight at me, but they came in an angle. And it took me a while to get used to the movements I was being attacked with. I look forward to sparring with future martial arts to get a good idea. I've sparred with people who have done jiu-jitsu. I've sparred with people that have done boxing, a few wrestlers, kickboxers, a lot of karate people, a lot of fellow kung fu martial artists from different kung fu styles. So I could say that I was able to get a good, well-rounded experience level that helped my maturity in the martial arts. So you don't have to just choose one martial art. Now, I was fortunate that my martial art teacher was versed in different martial arts. He's a black belt in karate, black sash in kung fu, a black sash in Wing Chun, and he had learned some applications when it came to boxing, eskrima, Tai Chi, the black sash in Tai Chi, which I feel all these different movements have let me choose what I want to use in my techniques of fighting. And you could say, well, Tai Chi's for older people, but I mean, I would honestly use Tai Chi in a fight the way that I use it. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be moving slow. I'm going to be moving with a lot of speed, but I am going to incorporate the aspect where I throw my hip power and my stance power into the opponent if I ever had to use Tai Chi as a martial art. It has a lot of good hidden movements that you can really use, even though its main purpose is to move your energy around for your own health purposes. So that being said, a martial arts style that I feel can really give you a lot of what you're looking for is Kung Fu, because for once Kung Fu has a lot of different styles within it. Wing Chun is Kung Fu, which was made by a female in order to fight a stronger male to be more effective against that opponent. There's grappling in Kung Fu. There's a few styles that do the MMA type of movements within it. I tend to forget the name, but I know there's a one K1 fighter, Kung Le. He's a champion of that. He kind of looks like a kickboxer, but it's a Kung Fu style that he practices. San Shao, I think. I'm trying to remember. So, as well as Kung Fu has different animals. You know, they have the ones that we mostly know, like that you probably seen in Kung Fu Panda. You'll see the mantis, you see the crane, the monkey, the dragon fist, the tiger. I don't know if I mentioned crane. There's other animals as well. There's elephant fist, there's bear, leopard, all these different animals. Now the reason we have all these different animals because depending on your body type, you can apply yourself to this type of animal. If you're a more stronger, heavy set person, you could go with bear, you can go with a tiger style. If you have speed and power, you can use a leopard. If your thing is mainly a lot of lean, speed, straight to the hit, snake, crane. Like I said, there's a lot of variations. Now, one thing I will have to say is that one big thing you should really consider when looking for a martial art for yourself, even for your body type, is finding a good teacher. Because a good teacher will know what movements will be right for you. Since the teacher has more experience, they're going to make you as effective as possible. If they see you as a heavier person, they see you as a lighter person, they see you as a person that can really execute their agility, their abilities. If you're too stiff, if you're very loose when you fight, a really good martial arts teacher will see that and will know how to apply the style for you. So take that into consideration. I know this video is kind of long, but this one question is a loaded question. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.